Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. I am Sanyukta Saxena and we have been doing this session on Tangled letters, and we have already drawn three of the letters, which is N, B and S, right? So today we will be drawing another letter, V, right? And post this session, the last session will be a mini project where we will write the word peace and then tangle around it, over it, or write tangle letter peace, right? So before that we will first work with this letter today, that is V, right? So again, I'm going to be using a mix of patterns here. So I'm going to start with Bronx cheer, right? So the Bronx cheer flower, I'm going to start with it, not very big one. I don't want the V to be very thick. So I have just added 2 layers and a thin third layer probably hidden behind the center petals, right? So I have drawn one here. Then I'm going to go ahead and add one more here, just randomly selecting the space, not thinking much where what. Going to add 2 3 of them. So the pencil line is a reference, so more or less it will be on those lines, right? So probably we'll insert one more here. So this flower specifically looks very dramatic once shaded, and it is very simple to draw, just like a normal flower. Just as you approach the latter part of the flower, the petals start to diminish in size because it is more of drawing behind, right? And then I'm just going to add a pattern called Vega. Yeah, so I'm just adding 2 lines like these, extend a little more here, then rotate the tile and complete my V, right? So draw my Vega like this, right? So Vega starts with these X. First set of lines are slanting like this, and then we are going to be crossing these lines by drawing behind to form an X, right? So this is how Vega goes. So don't bother about imperfect lines or lines not falling in sync. It's all okay, right? So Vega is again a very dramatic tangle because I will be inking the spaces in between, right? So let us now cross these lines. So take your time and slowly draw these double lines like this, right? Now I'm going to add an aura inside each of these spaces and ink it, right? So you can always leave a highlight while you ink, or again you can use your chalk pencil, right? So each of the sections that I have created, I'm inking it. You can see I am giving a slight hump to the end so that it looks more organic and not straight lines, right? You can now add little boldness to these lines at the ends. Just redo the zigzag, right? Again, right? So I have done that exercise. I have auraed each of the sections that we created and I have inked the space, right? So now if you want, you can just enlarge a few of the, it would look nice if they are kind of protruding out, right? So wherever you can extend it a bit. Something like this, yeah. Now if you want, you can add something more also, so just for us to decide whether we want to. So what I'm going to do next is use my pencil and add some long leaf kind of shapes like these, just like we draw for squid, but these look a little more leafy since we have inserted some flowers, bronchier flowers also. So I was just thinking to insert some petal kind of shapes, a few of them, not too many. Like this, right? And then I'm going to use my pen and fill it up with Indirella, right? So I'm not going to add any other tangle, but just add lines like these, right? And use the pattern Indirella. So I'm going to start here. Just give a slight weight to the lines as you start and as you end. So this is an excellent example of what auras can do in Zentangle. Simple lines, and how beautiful can they look like. You can change the shape, maneuver the shape the way you want, right? So you can always add one here like this to look nice. Something like this, yeah. So just hold the tile in a position that you are comfortable in drawing these lines close to each other nicely, or if you can add some pressure at the beginning and at the end, yeah. Yeah, so I will do the same here also. You can either start from here or go there, or you can start from the other side. That's absolutely fine. Add a little zen. This one I'll start from here. So just taking a reference from the line, since we are varying the shape a little and making it look like petals or leaves, that's why taking the reference of these lines. You can always draw it freehand without any reference. In fact, that would be better, right? And the same thing here. So we can always add a nice curl here like this. And then, because Indirella is one pattern, you can maneuver it anyways. So why not use that quality Yeah. So just enjoy each stroke. See what lines can do, what magic can it create. Yes. Simple lines, simple auras, lines drawn close to each other. You can also add some weight as you begin and as you end. Probably a last one here, something like this. Yeah. Yeah, then I think we are done. Yeah. So our V is done. Now let us move to the border. So I'm just going to add these triangular or conical, whatever you want to say, this kind of shape at the edges of the tile. Right, and the last one. Yeah. So now up to us, how do we want to use this grid? So whole lot of tangles that you can choose from. So I basically plan to ink the outer space left after drawing the grid. Yeah. So I want to ink the outer space and I'm going to tangle only in this inside space, right? So just add some henna drums. Keep it simple. A moon, two lines, and the petal shape generally used for henna drum. That's about it that I'm going to do. A moon, two auras, and the petal shape. Yeah, if you want you can add a circle here again. Yeah, so I'm going to continue like this. So you can always add a layer of aura like this and then ink. Yeah. Since you have a moon which is inked, it will be a nice idea to add an aura and then ink. So that's the logic. Yeah, we are done. So I'm going to continue adding this moon and the henna drum. So just to reiterate once again, the tangles that we have used today is Vega, which is a Zentangle original. So it is a tangle released by headquarters. We have used Indirella, again released by headquarters. We have used Bronx Cheer flower. Again, it is a Zentangle headquarter tangle, basically a tangulation of the original Bronx Cheer. And now we are using henna drums. Right? So these are the tangles that we have used today. So I am finishing with my henna drums on the last one. A pattern very much inspired from henna designs, henna patterns. Yeah. So now, as I mentioned, I will pick up a bolder nib, probably my 08. Yeah. And ink this space. I would like some bold ink there. If you want, you can add anything else. It is kind of a triangular shape, so you can insert any of the triangular fragments here, right? So I think inking will look nice. It will add that boldness to the tile. So I'm going to slowly ink all these triangular spaces like this. Yeah. So take your time and you can do it along with me, or you can do it at your own pace. Do it later as you watch the video. So entirely up to you. I'm going to do this one by one. So as I keep saying, enjoy the process, enjoy the boldness that it adds to your tile. Don't haste up. Stretch yourself, stretch your fingers, hands. If you're getting tired, take a break and then again get back to it. But don't haste up. Slowly ink all the sections. Right? So I'm almost done with the inking part. Right? So inking is done. Let us first shade now, and then we'll see if we want to add that dash of color and where do we want to add it, right? So I'm first going to shade my Vega, the intersections, a little at the ends. So be careful, the spaces are small, you don't want to be adding too much. One side of the flower, again the intersections, the ends. Yeah, and one side of the flower. Right, so Indirella, one side, yeah. So let us first blend this much. So just blend as much as required. Let whites be visible in between. Yeah, the Indirella. Just covering about the half with graphite. Yeah, and then on the outside, so we'll just see. Yeah, I think this will look fine, right? So I'm just going to add graphite on both sides. And then on the other side. Yeah, so let us blend now. Yeah, so I'm done with the shading. Now, although you don't require anything else here in the tile, but since we have added a dash of color everywhere, right? So you can now use a scoring tool if you wish to, right? So entirely optional. So I'm again picking up my scoring tool and just adding some auras like this around these orbs that I've drawn, just like we draw for Bunzo. I'm drawing around 3 of them, right? I hope you can see. Yeah, so that's the exercise I'm doing, just to add a bit of color. So that is entirely optional, but since we are keeping all the sessions a little uniform as far as the scoring and the color is concerned, so let us do that. A little more addition to the tile. And the last one, right? So I'll just touch this color on these, probably around the orb, right? So this is a chalk pencil, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm using Creta color. So Zentangle headquarters, although generally recommends General's brand, but whatever is readily easily available with you, please go with it, right? So I'm now going to use another blending stump and just slightly pull off the graphite, right? So just a soft touch, nothing much, to give a shape, a shade to the slight embossing that I did with my scoring tool. Yeah, so you can see I'm keeping it pretty soft and subtle, just a slight background somewhere hidden. Yeah, so you can always add background, some background throughout, and do the same exercise. I'm keeping it to the edges. And we are almost done. So make sure that you use different stubs for the white chalk, for your colored chalk, else you will end up messing up everything. You definitely don't want gray here, right? So just keep the stubs separate. So just a soft touch, right? And then now pick up your regular white chalk and add a highlight on the vega in the center. Not too much, just little. On the other side of your bronze chair where you have not added graphite, a slight highlight. On the other side of the Indirella, yeah, that's about it. And we are done, right? So that's our letter for today. And I'll see you with the last session where we will be doing a mini project. I'll be using an A5 paper, A5 size paper, and we'll be doing the word peace because that is what we require at this point of time. After 2 years of this pandemic already breaking our spines, war is the last thing that we require, right? So we'll just do a small little project and try and make a small little difference, right? So thanks for watching.